readers. So welcome to Miss Spiller's classroom. I am here to read an amazing book for you today. So this book, you might have heard of it before because it's a very popular book. This book is called Malala's Magic Pencil. And this is a true story about a girl who wished for a better world. When Malala was a child in Pakistan, she wished for a magic pencil. She would use it to draw a lock on her door to keep her brothers out, stop time so she could sleep an extra hour every morning, erase the smell of the trash dump near her home. But as Malala grew, her world changed, and so did her wishes. Her right to attend school was threatened, just because she's a girl. Instead of a magic pencil, Malala now picked up a real one. She wrote alone in her room about the challenges she faced, but people from all over read her words, and her wishes started to come true. Malala Yousafzai is an international icon, education activist, and the youngest ever recipient of the Nobel Peace Prize. And she tells her inspiring story of growing up in a war-torn region, yet still seeing the magic of hope everywhere she looked. I want us to do a little special reading. Do you guys want to do some special reading with me today? We are going to use our detective skills, and we are going to look for some things in the text that we might not have noticed before, okay? So I want you to notice what, when I'm reading, I'm gonna kind of think out loud just a little bit, some of the thoughts that I'm thinking in my head, and I want you guys to pay attention to those thoughts that I'm saying that are not on the page.
The out loud thoughts will help us to see meaningful connections. These connections will be between the book and myself, also meaning my life, between the book and other books and media, between the book and the world.
Malala's Magic Pencil by Malala Yousafzai. Do you believe in magic? When I was younger, I used to watch a TV show about a boy who had a magic pencil. If he was hungry, he drew a bowl of curry and it appeared. If he and his friends were in danger, he drew a police officer. The boy was a little hero, always protecting people who needed help. I wanted a magic pencil too. If I had a magic pencil, I would use it to put a lock on my door so my brothers couldn't bother me. I stopped time so I could sleep an extra hour every morning. Erase the smell of the trash dumpster outside near our house. And I would use it to make other people happy. I would draw the most beautiful dresses in the world for my mother, the best buildings in the valley for my father, so he could open many schools where children would study for free. A proper ball, so my brothers and I no longer had to play with an old stuffed sock with rubbish. Every night, before I went to bed, I wished for a magic pencil of my own. And every morning, I would wake up and check my cupboard. But the magic pencil was never there. One day, I was throwing away potato peels and eggshells at the dump. I was wrinkling my nose, swatting away flies, and making sure I didn't step on anything dirty in my nice shoes, when I saw a girl about my age sorting into trash piles.
Nearby, boys were fishing for metal scraps using magnets on strings.
When my father returned home from work, I told him what I'd seen. It made him sad. "Abba?" I said. "Yes, Johnny," he said back. I always liked when he called me dear one. "Why haven't I seen that girl in my class?" "Because," he said, but he didn't finish right away. "Because, Johnny, in our country, not everyone sends their daughters to school. Some children must work to support their family. Those boys will sell the metal scraps they find. If they went to school, their families would go hungry. School was my favorite place, but I had never considered myself lucky to be able to go. I don't think I ever really considered myself lucky to go to school sometimes too. Sometimes I would go and do my homework and do my schoolwork, and I really didn't, think I was lucky for doing that. But Malala found out that she was lucky, that she was able to go to school. Maybe I should feel lucky too about going to school. My father had always said, "Malala will live free as a bird." Now, I wondered how free I'd truly be. That night, I thought about families who didn't have enough food, and the girl who couldn't go to school, and even about how, when I was older, I would be expected to cook and clean for my brothers, because where I came from, many girls weren't allowed to become what they dreamed of. I knew then that if I had the magic pencil, I would use it to draw a better world, a peaceful world. First, I would erase war, poverty, and hunger. Then, I would draw girls and boys together as equals. Wow, I just read a article about Martin Luther King Jr., and he actually had fought for the equality of Black and white Americans to be able to be together, be considered equal and not separate. I wonder if that's the same kind of thing that Malala is fighting for, but for boys and girls in her country. Over the next few years, instead of wishing for a magic pencil every night, I worked hard in school every day. I wanted to be one of the top students in my class. But soon, powerful and dangerous men declared that girls were forbidden from attending school. They walked the streets of our city now. They carried weapons. One by one, girls stopped coming to school. "Abba, where are all the students?" "They don't feel safe here anymore, Johnny." How could a few men stop all the girls in our valley from going to school? If more people knew what was happening to us, I thought, they might help. Once I started writing, I didn't stop. I wrote speeches and traveled around my country, sharing my story. I even talked to a reporter from a famous international newspaper. People actually wanted to learn about my life, so I spoke for all the girls in my valley who couldn't speak for themselves. My voice became so powerful that dangerous men tried to silence me, but they failed. And now, my voice is louder than ever. Louder because people have joined me, and together we make a chorus, standing up for what we believe. We raise our voices for those in need. Help people in danger, even if they're an ocean away. Think of the world as a family. Do you still believe in magic? I do. I wrote alone in my room, but people all over the world were reading my story. Millions now know it and help me spread my message of hope. I had at last found the magic I was looking for. My words and in my work. I am Malala. I've always wished I could make the world a more peaceful place. And every day I work to make my wishes come true. One child, one teacher, one book, and one pen can change the world. Wow, that's amazing. What a big idea that one child could change the world, and one teacher and one book and one pen could change the world. And maybe that's because the child, like Malala, was using the pen to write. She was using her voice to speak something that was so powerful and so loud about her life that others around the world could not help but listen. And that's a truth that I think all of us can take from this book. It's definitely a big idea, is that we can see change when we use our voices. What a beautiful book, right? Malala's Magic Pencil. Okay, now readers, it is your turn to make some meaningful connections between this book, yourself, the text, and your world. Check out the Satori page that is listed. Write down these things and see the questions that you need to ask to make those meaningful connections. Can't wait to read them.